Each language has its own internal rules and grammatical convention, and these are individuated and defined through the following specific areas of linguistic study. Phonology is how sounds or sing units function together. Morphology is the form and composition of word or sing. Syntax is the formation and composition of phrase and utterance. Semantic is the study of meaning. Discourse or pragmatics is how language used to communicate ideas. Number 2. Sociolinguistic and discourse analysis have had a significant impact on linguistics by expanding the field focus beyond the study of language structure to include the social and cultural context in which language is used. Discourse analysis, on the other hand, has drawn attention to the importance of studying language as a social practice that is used to accomplish specific communicative goals. This approach has encouraged linguists to examine language use in a variety of contexts, including conversational interaction, written text, and institutional settings. So, the impact of sociolinguistics and discourse analysis on linguistics has been to shift the focus of the field from an exclusive emphasis on language as a formal system to a broader understanding of language as a social and cultural practice. Number 3. There are many scholars who have contributed significantly to fields of sociolinguistics and discourse analysis. Here are some of the major scholars and their contribution. Irving Goffman. Goffman is considered one of the founders of modern sociolinguistics. His work focused on the ways in which people interact in everyday situations and how they use language to construct social roles and identities. Dale Helms is known for developing the concept of communicative competence, which refers to the ability to use language appropriately in different social contexts. He also developed the ethnography of communication, which is a methodology for studying the relationship between language and culture. Deborah Tennant's work focuses on the different communication styles between men and women. She has written extensively about the ways in which gender influence language use and the impact that these differences have on social interaction. And number 4, the first major discourse analysis study was conducted by Cynthia Roy by 1989 to 2000, whose approach grew out of interactional sociolinguistics and specifically drew upon the work of Kumpers 1982 and Shannon 1984 Roy study, which was based in discourse analysis framework focused on the turn exchange of an interpreted interaction between a college professor and a graduate student. Up to this point, investigation on interpreting had either been experiments or film of interpreters as they work in large public settings, but single language interpreters do the bulk of their work in face-to-face, private meeting with 3 participants, 2 primary speaker and an interpreter. This study was the first to film the kinds of interaction interpreters experience on a daily basis. Roy analysis was in two parts. One, the structure of turn-taking, Sachs, Skegloff, and Jefferson, 1974, in a three-way conversation. And two, the participant attention and interpretation of the turns taken, Bennett, 1981, Cannon, 1984. Her findings revealed that the two participants alternated turn with the interpreter, who also took his own turn. This dynamic demonstrates that rather than being a natural conveyor of message, interpreters in this situation, and more generally, are active participants who could potentially influence the direction and outcome of uneven subsequent studies, such as Daniel Claude Blanc's examine interpreters mediate encounters between language distinct que beaches or LSK, the same language used by deaf people and of francophone families in Quebec, and the spoken French in Canada, and also found interpreters to be active participants in this interaction.